All right, hey, hi, and hello, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, the internet's busiest music nerd. I hope you are doing well. And it's time for a weekly track roundup. My thoughts, my feelings on a bunch of tracks that have dropped over the past week. They are all linked down below, so you can check them out for yourselves. They're down there whether I loved them, hated them, or felt somewhere in between. And also linked down below, of course, is our Turntable Lab link. We get kickback from it if you want to use it to buy some vinyl, some turntable stuff, some speakers, some whatever. Supports the channel while you spoil yourself. Holidays are coming up too. Also, our Patreon page is linked down below if you want to get access to our Discord community, some cool monthly bonus content while you support the channel too. That would be great. Our YouTube Shorts page, where we post all of our good short form content, is linked down below as well. Our new revamped website with a regularly updated news section is down there in the D box too. And finally, a shout out to a benefit compilation to help those recently affected by the massive hurricane that hit North Carolina. There are dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of tracks, studio stuff, live stuff from all of your indie favorites on here. There is The War on Drugs, Angel Olsen, MJ Lenderman, just lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of artists on this benefit comp linked down below. Check it out for yourselves. Buy it. Send that money to a good cause. And that is all I can say. All right. Cool. Moving on from there. Worst tracks of the week. We have a handful. We have a few. They are as follows. Bam. New one off the latest Rod Wave album. It's kind of a big one with Lil Yachty and Lil Baby Fuck Fame. Of course, it has a boring beat, a very awkward flow from Yachty off the jump. Rod Wave fills out the middle without really all that much to say, and the final verse is the most generic Lil Baby verse ever. Again, not really much to comment on here, honestly. It's just blatantly uninspired. All right, we also have a new one from Maggie Rogers over here, In the Living Room, which is just like some very tacky 90s acoustic radio rock. I just don't get why this is coming back. This kind of went out of style for a reason, and we'll leave it there. We also have a new one from Halsey, from her forthcoming album, The Great Pretender, where she's kind of impersonating and I guess embarking on a bunch of different sonic and aesthetic escapades by just trying out some different sounds and different artist vibes. And while I have enjoyed at least one single in a big way from this forthcoming album that had almost like a kind of a throwback teen flick pop punk flavor to it, because it was just done very, very well. This new one over here, I Never Loved You, it feels almost like she's just trying to write a mediocre Taylor Swift song. I don't get what kind of the idea is behind trying on a variety of different sounds if some of those sounds are just going to be so blatantly bland and, again, uninspired. But yeah, I Never Loved You. I never loved this one. That's for sure. All right. We also have a new one from EARTHGANG, Spillage Village, with T-Pain in the mix as well. And yeah, it just kind of sounds like some 2000s era club rap, but while I understand that is making a bit of a comeback right now, this just feels like all the dated stuff about that sound and about that style that made it kind of, fall out of favor with a lot of people to begin with. Some of the stuff kind of riding on the coattails of the comeback of this sound these days that I've been hearing that's, I guess enjoyable. Sounds a bit more updated and interesting than what's going on here. This just feels stale to my ears. Meh. The tracks I was on the fence with, but you might like them more than me. They are as follows, but bam. A new one from Yukimi of Lil Dragon fame. Yes, she is going solo, and Break Me Down is the title of the first single. And yeah, it's kind of like some sort of okay neo-soul stuff. The vocals are decent. The instrumental itself, okay. tune doesn't stick with me so much, but the vibe is there. Would be interesting to see if she goes kind of further down this genre path with this upcoming album and, this new breakaway solo career. We also have a new one from the man himself, Flying Lotus, and it kind of seems like Philo is trying out going in, kind of a clubby dance music direction, and it features all the kind of weird, squishy, gummy sounds I would typically expect from a Philo production, but it's not nearly as psychedelic as some of the stuff I typically enjoy from him is. Not as musically detailed either, and, if he was going to go in sort of a clubbier, dancier direction, I would have hoped for something that had some more interesting progressions to it or played with tension a little bit more. I mean, it's sort of there, but not all the way there, I'll say. All right, we also have one over here, excuse me, from none other than J. Cole, Port Antonio. The new track everybody has been talking about this week because lo and behold on this one, he pretty much, addresses bowing out of the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef. And while I do think the rapping on the track is fine, instrumental choice is okay. There are lyrically some impressive bars here and there. I just fail to see the point of this song. I feel like J. Cole's reasoning for bowing out was already made very, very well apparent. And then beyond that, I feel like he's just trying to have his cake and eat it too by just bragging about how lyrically impressive he is and how deadly he is, literally and figuratively, when, bro, you backed off of the beef. I just don't really get the reason for this song other than for him to cope on some level with sort of having, nothing to do with quite possibly the biggest beef we're going to see in hip hop this decade. Even if I do think some of the points he makes about this all being for clicks and attention to some degree, being fair, those are certainly fair points. Moving on from there, though, we also have a new one from Zack Fox and Bruiser Wolf. So many funny, hilarious bars across this track, which is not surprising at all, given that it is Zack Fox and Bruiser Wolf. Just amazing, gut-punching, lyrical gems abound. I just wish the instrumental switched things up. It's just kind of one stale loop over and over and over. And while I do understand, this production style is kind of caught on right now in the underground, I mean, it could have been a better loop. It could have been a better loop. All right, moving on to the tracks that I enjoyed quite a bit more. They are as follows. Best tracks of the week. Pay attention. We have a new one from Xiu Xiu covering Frosty the Frickin' Snowman. And it's horrifying, incredible, mind-blowing, and highly enjoyable. I cannot recommend this enough. It's handily one of my favorite tracks of the week, and really impressive for Xiu Xiu to drop this off the back of a fantastic new full-length album, and giving us music that's going to get us in the Christmas spirit before even Halloween has come through. I appreciate that. All right, we have a new one from Pharrell from his upcoming Piece by Piece film soundtrack. This one, Virginia Boy, featuring Tyler, the Creator, I think is actually one of the most kind of fun and eccentric and well-produced solo cuts he's dropped in a while. And I feel like him and Tyler really kind of bring the best out in each other on this track in terms of vibe, energy, lyricism, eccentricity. They really do kind of match each other's energy really well on this track. And, I love the song for it. All right, moving on from there. The Lonely Island is back out of nowhere. Sushi Glory Hole, which is a song about exactly what it sounds like. But what is even funnier is that the song is also simultaneously a pitch for the idea as the song is going. I love this. It's classic Lonely Island, but it's so outlandish and audacious that I can't foresee this track kind of going stale in the way, maybe some older tracks from the group have in terms of the quality of comedy in the song. All right, moving on from there. Shout out to this new Cure single. Liking this one a lot more than the last single, honestly. A Fragile Thing is the title of this one. The mix is killer. The bass tone is great. The guitars and tune are fantastic. And of course, just like the last track, Robert Smith's vocals sound frickin' amazing. The guy, again, has like not missed a beat in all of these years. If we get more tracks like this on the upcoming Cure album, this is going to be an amazing record, and I'll leave it there. All right, we have a new one from Cordae over here. Mad as Fuck is the title of the track. He is hitting us with a bit of a braggadocious trap banger with, you know, some snappy refrains and some standout bars here and there. And also want to give a shout out to none other than Clairo, who is contributing to a track off of this new Margot Guryan kind of covers compilation project. And, you know, not only is the tune great, but Clairo is really kind of going back to her bedroom pop roots on this cover, which I think makes total sense. Shout out to Sub Pop for, you know, getting this magical little compilation together and, you know, for coming through with a nice little piece of Clairo magic on this one for sure. All right, we have a new one from Allie X, although, you know, it's not necessarily new from Allie X. It's off with Her Tits, a track from her latest record, which I think was one of the strongest tracks and singles off of it. But it's a nice, punchy, very gothy, clubby remix of that song from Trust. Really kind of liking this new spin on the track. I think it's quite a good one for the dance heads out there, the goth heads out there. And finally, shout out to Ab-Soul, who is treating us to another track. He's been on a track with Kembe X recently. This is a solo cut, though, from the forthcoming project that he's supposed to have out very soon. Yes, and, you know, basically this song, while it may not have the strongest chorus of any Ab-Soul track ever, he does sound determined from the front to the end of the song. The horn heavy production is absolutely killer. And I think he just kind of proves how clever and raw of a rapper he still to this day is. Yeah, I mean, he's still kind of, you know, one of the headiest lyricists to come out of the TDE roster. There's still no question about that, especially given the quality of the writing on this track. So, yeah, check that out below, too. And that is going to be it for the weekly track roundup. Hopefully you got some good recommendations out of this video. I appreciate you. And, Anthony Fantano, weekly tracks, music, forever.